Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about something special today, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, it's not the current cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's a past member, and we know her as Kandi Burrus. Yep, we're here to talk about Kandi Burrus and Todd Tucker because I got a question for all of y'all. Do y'all think either one of them regrets their divorce? And let me tell you, the reason why I bring this up is because I saw an Instagram video with Kandi and Todd on vacation. I'm going to show it in a few seconds. But it made me start thinking when I started to look at their interaction, I started to say to myself, I wonder if either one of them regret their divorce. I know a lot of people out there are going to say Kandi Burrus don't regret her divorce because they don't think she should have been with Todd Tucker in the first place. I'm one that disagrees with that. A lot of you would say, yeah, Todd Tucker regrets the divorce because a lot of you believe it was all his fault and that he was just there for money, even though he didn't even really get no money after the divorce, and it doesn't look like that's what he was after. So I might have a little bit of a different opinion than everyone. But when it comes to this conversation or this question that I have about Kandi Burrus and Todd Tucker from Real Housewives of Atlanta is, do they regret their divorces? In this video, I see some behavior that says, I think Kandi regrets the divorce. I do. Because let me tell you something. When you are done with a man, when you are done with him, you don't care what he does, where he goes, what he eats. And later on in this video, you definitely don't care what he reads because you're done. You're done. When you have this much interest, and not only are you questioning him, but thinking, you're posting on Instagram, you still got a few regrets. Now, are there enough regrets that make you want to be back together? I'm not saying that. I think in any breakdown of a relationship, people should always think about what I could have done differently. What could I have done differently? What could I have done to prevent the demise of this relationship? And Todd, do I think that Todd regrets some things in the relationship? Sure, I do. I think he regrets how he handled some of the situations. But here's the thing. Does regret turn into, I want to get back with you? And I think in the case of these two people, I'm going to say that the answer is no. Whatever regrets they may have, I don't believe that they're strong enough that they want to get back together. Because here's the thing about getting back together. You can have your own regrets about what you did wrong, what you could do differently. But what you can't change is you can't change who the other person is. So even if you say to yourself, hey, you know what? I handled that wrong. I could have done that differently. The problem is the behavior of the other person. Do you believe the other person has grown enough that the behavior that they were displaying before that irritated you, that rubbed you the wrong way, that triggered you, have they changed it enough that now you could move forward? That these sort of irreconcilable differences could now become reconcilable. So here we go, right here, right now. And I'm going to go ahead and play this Instagram video that Kandi posted from their trip in the Bahamas. I know they're in the Bahamas because I can tell where they are. They're at the resort called the Atlantis. You can tell by those coral towers. They're very, very famous. People who've been there, like myself, you can recognize it. It's a great place. They've got water slides everywhere. It's a great place for kids. It's got the beach. It's got water slides. It's got restaurants. It's not cheap. So if you broke, don't go. If you broke, don't go. The rooms average anywhere from $600 a night up to $1,200 a night. And it ain't all inclusive. You still got to pay for your food. So if you one of them, I can only go somewhere for a $600 all-inclusive deal. Don't go to the Atlantis because you're going to be upset. But let's watch the video of Kandi Burrus and Todd Tucker vacationing together with their kids. And afterwards, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
Be on this co-parent trip. What you reading? Daily prayers for men.
Amen. God be the glory.
Let me just say this. We was married for almost 12 years, and that man ain't never had no prayers for men book. None of that. Now all of a sudden, He divorced now. He want to be out here on the beach or out on the pool with his daily prayers for men. But nah, I ain't saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. But he should start praying a long time ago. What y'all think? All right, you said you had something to say. What you got to say?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Oh, now you don't have nothing to say.
No, because I was reading and it told me shut up. Don't say nothing.
Did it say that for real? Or you joking?
It's right here. Be kind and merciful. So as you were saying what you said, it's telling me to treat others as I would want to be treated. And so I'm not going to say anything that might make you feel away or feel like, you know. So with that being said, I'm fine. I can take your beating. And I'll move forward with it.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
Oh, God. You my son?
See how they be now? I'm going to be looking like the enemy.
So now you see the video. What y'all think? You think there's any regret? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think? Now, what we remember about, or what I've just read, let me say this, because I don't know everything. But what I read in the blogs was that the last straw for Kandi with Todd was when she discovered that Todd had slept with another woman. And when she approached him about it, his answer was, well, you'll get over it. It was Todd's response was cold. It was cold-hearted. It didn't seem like it was filled with any regret. And basically what he told her was, you'll get over it. And I think what Kandi said was that sort of level of disrespect, disregard for her was her last straw. So, but now they're co-parenting, they're on vacation together, they're having a good time. So what I want to talk about is how they even got to that point. Well, we know that Todd and Kandi were regular participants in threesomes. We know that. And we know that the threesome was not two men and Kandi. We know that wasn't the threesome. We know that the threesome was two women and Todd. Well, most people think when a woman invites another woman into the bedroom that they're doing it for the man. The man wants it. The man wants the threesome. And so the woman is doing it to please the husband, the boyfriend. Well, we all kind of know now that this other woman brought into the bed, or maybe we don't know. Let me tell you what I think. This other woman that was brought into the bedroom was not for Todd. It was for Kandi, right? Because Kandi's very clear that she likes a little bit of everything. So here we have Todd and Kandi indulging in threesomes. And I'm not saying that Todd didn't enjoy it from time to time, but I think I'm pretty solid in believing that most of the enjoyment was a way for Kandi to have her cake and eat it too. It was a way for her to fulfill her desires to be with a woman, but also her desires to be with her husband, with her man. And I'll just combine the two. So now what you have is you have a situation where Todd isn't even controlling the bedroom. You see, Kandi controlled everything in the relationship. She controlled the money. She controlled what creative projects she worked on. She controlled lots of things. And now she's controlling the bedroom. She's controlling who can and cannot come in and out of the bedroom. And the truth of the matter is that this little threesome that they were having was not really for Todd's benefit. I know Kandi may try to say he liked it, but I firmly believe that the person who liked it the most was Kandi. And the reason why is that's why she really got mad when he went outside and had relationships with these women or woman with Kandi not present. See, everybody thinks that Kandi's feelings were hurt, that, you know, hey, you betrayed me. You're making a bond with another woman outside of me. Even people kept saying Todd fell in love with some woman that they have been having threesomes with, and he's going to go off and marry her. You see all these fake blogs talking about that. Well, none of that turned out to be true. A lot of the things that people have said about Todd have not turned out to be true. So what do I believe Kandi was really mad about? Yeah, well, she was mad about Todd's disrespect in the way that he handled, sleeping with another woman. But what she was really mad about was Todd took his power back. Because what Todd did was a power move. You see, When you feel controlled, right, in finances, feel controlled in what creative projects you do, how do you get back power in the relationship? Well, what you do is you exert your power in an area in which maybe you felt that woman had the power. So when Kandi's controlling the bedroom and she's saying what women can come here and what women I want and what I want to do to please me, Todd goes outside of the marriage and says, no, I'm going to do what pleases me. Not only that, it's a power move against you. It's a power struggle. It's a power struggle. So what I think the regret that Todd did and Todd has is I think he regrets handling the situation he did. What he was feeling was emasculated. And what he did was he used sex with another woman to try to gain back power in the relationship. And Kandi took the bait because Kandi wants the power. She likes the power. That's why Kandi is also, she says she's doing this co-parenting thing so well because she wants her children to be happy. It's also a way for her to also maintain a bit of power in the relationship with Todd. I mean, let's reverse it, okay? Ladies, let's say you get divorced. Let's say that it's vacation time and your ex, who was controlling, who tried to control everything about you as a woman, you had a man who was very controlling, and now you're divorced, and he says, well, I want to go on vacation together, and I want you to go. Because the kids want you there. This is what the kids want. Yeah, but you're also putting yourself in a position where that man is still that man, and he's still going to try to exert control over you in a vacation environment, even though you're still not married. And in a lot of ways, that's what Kandi was doing in that video when she was mocking and making fun of Todd over the fact that he was reading this prayer book. Well, that's really telling, right? So here's Kandi saying, isn't it funny that you're reading these men's prayers and Bible stories, but the whole time we were married, you never read any of this? Well, okay. Kandi, what are you threatened over? Are you threatened over that Todd is now seeking knowledge to be guided by someone different or something different? You see, when you want to be in control and you want to power, you really don't want your partner to have any other source of information. You don't want other people, other things influencing them. So when you see Todd reading Bible stories and seeking God and saying, maybe I need to get my influence and have someone else have power over me, you ridicule it, you mock it, you put it on social media, and you say, well, you should have been doing this when we was married. Well, if he were doing it during marriage, you probably wouldn't have stayed married for 10 years. Because if you're reading the Bible and you're reading things that's written in the Bible, he would not have participated in this life, Kandi, that you wanted, which was threesomes with women. So what do you want? Did you want the man to be into God, or did you want him to be into what you were into and what you wanted, right? So now that Todd is trying to do something different, trying to discover different ways to make decisions, now he's ridiculed. And in the video, you saw him say, you know what, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to take your verbal beating. You see, this is where he says, now I'm going to take the information I learned and I'm going to learn to deal with you differently, right? Not the way I dealt with you when we were married and when I went off and tried to hurt you and have an affair to hurt you. Now I'm going to try to use another source of power to handle you differently. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. You see, but that doesn't make well for a marriage. That makes well, you can keep your mouth shut on a vacation, but you couldn't do it your whole marriage. You couldn't. That's why I say, do I think that the regret is strong enough to want to get married? No, I don't think so. I think Kandi is way more controlling than people think. I think people believe that Todd was there for Kandi's money, but I think Kandi likes power, and I think she likes control, and she likes to dictate things way too much in her relationship. And after a while, people get tired of that, and people rebel, and people start taking back their power and start saying, listen, you are not going to control what I do and how I feel and what goes on. You know, people are talking about Portia Williams, and they're talking about how now she's embraced this new era of her life, or this new part of herself that she says has been dormant for years, which is having an affinity to want to be with women. She's fluid. And, Atlanta's always been known for a strong LGBTQ environment. And you see this playing out now with a lot of women, right? A lot of women saying, what's wrong with being with men and women having love for opposite sexes? And I'm not going to get into any type of conversation about any of that. What I'm going to talk about is, how do heterosexual women even get here, especially with the strong influence in Atlanta? And I guess we can all understand that, Black women in Atlanta have embraced gay men for a long time in Atlanta, heavily influenced by them. Women, I think, have used and still do use gay men for a surrogate male person in their life. Sometimes they're surrogate fathers, best friends. A lot of women, you'll say they like having a gay friend because it gives them a little bit of the male perspective. So when women are missing men in their life, to give them the male perspective, heterosexual men, a lot of women believe their next best option is a gay man. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't agree with that, but that's how a lot of women believe, that they're getting a little bit of both. They're getting this female part that sort of understands them, but they're also getting the male part that understands men. And so they think they can learn something from the gay Black men. And it has influenced heterosexual women. I mean, from your stylist to the person who does your nails, does your makeup, plans your parties, everything. A lot of times, if you look at these stars in Atlanta, they're all being circled and run by gay men. A lot of body styles of women were influenced by gay men. BBLs, patting your butt, patting your boobs, patting your hips. These were all things that were done in the what do you call it? What's the shows the men would do when the men would dress up as women? They wore the lace front wigs. They wore the long nails. They wore the eyelashes. They exaggerated their hips, their butts. All of these eventually women started mimicking. When you look at women with all these things on their bodies, they're really looking like not women, not original women. They're looking like a lot of what the gay men would do when they dressed up for the shows. And now I think what you're seeing is, as you become more comfortable with seeing your friends, your gay friends, in the gay lifestyle, I think it also becomes more comfortable for heterosexual women. And so I think you're seeing a lot more people socially accepting it, but a lot of ways it's come from the influence of the gay community, and it's come from the closeness that Black women have had with gay Black men. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just talking about where I think the origins came from, where the influences come from. I'm not here to tell people whether it's right or wrong. That's for you to decide. But in this, now when you see what I'm talking about with Kandi Burrus and Todd Tucker, and you see Todd possibly getting additional information in his mind and saying, maybe this isn't really what I want, and you have Kandi ridiculing him for seeking additional information, making fun of him in a lot of ways, laughing at him. And then you say, well, do they regret getting divorced? No, I don't, because I think what they're going to realize is, although they both may regret the way they handled things in their marriage, what they probably realize now is, even if they could change what they did and how they could do it differently, a few things, they can't change the other person. And I think Todd firmly knows that Kandi likes other women. And I don't really know too many men who want to regularly, consistently share their woman with anyone, even another woman, not on the consistent basis, unless the man themselves is really into that. And honestly, if a man were really into threesomes, then he would probably start dictating what the women should be and do in the threesome, which means Kandi would have to give up control in the bedroom anyway, right? So either way, whoever Kandi gets with and she wants to sort of continue to delve into this half and half relationships, she would have to give up some control to a man. And I don't think Kandi likes to give up control, because if the man likes the threesome, he's also going to have control over what the threesomes look like, who they're with, and how it's done. And that's going to be him bringing his power into the relationship, into the bedroom. But if Kandi, I don't see her being a woman that's going to allow a man to control what she does in the bedroom, because Kandi likes the power. So where do they go from here? I don't know. I think they both have to go off and find someone that's more suited for them in the lifestyle that they want to live now. And I don't think that they both want to live the same lifestyle. Todd wants more control in his relationship than he had with Kandi. And Candy's not going to give that up. And he knows it. So as much as he loves his children, as much as he's going to make this co-parenting thing works, I don't think he's ever going to want to go back to being in a relationship with Kandi where so much of his life is controlled and influenced by her. And I think Kandi likes power and control. And so I don't think she's ever going to give up that to a man. So there you go. That's my opinion. What do y'all think? Because I know you don't agree with everything I said. What do y'all think? Anyway, that's all I got to talk about. Talk to y'all later. Bye.